This is an Eberlestock rifle scabbard that I'm cutting down to size because I have an SU16C Kel-Tec folding rifle, and so I want to basically cut it down to here to eliminate that extra length there that I don't need. So what I've done is I've used a seam stripper. We also have a sailboat, so we make sails. And this little tool just rips out a seam. So far I've ripped out the trim piece here that goes up around the edge. There were basically two stitches. There's a stitch right there. I had to rip that out, and then a second stitch right in there. That was the most difficult one to get at. But I'll try to document my progress here, and we'll see how well this works out if anyone else wants to try it for their SU16. Okay, here's my stock. I have a Eberlestock Scabbard. I've cut the end of it off, and now you can see there's the foam padding in here. I'm going to have to actually trim that back a little bit so that I can stitch these together on the ends there, bringing this back over the top to stitch them together, and hopefully this works out. Okay, what I'm going to attempt here, I got my sewing machine set up, I think. This is our sewing machine. I'm going to stitch these edges here together to seal that foam packing in there. Do the same with this end. And then once I've got those stitched together, then I'll bring these like trim pieces across here, stitch those on, and cut them off square right here. I'll probably also cut them off square over here since I left this as kind of a square edge. Originally they had a rounded cut edge on there, which you could just run that right around it. I want to leave it square, so I'm going to snip those off square and then run these across the top there. That's what I hope I'm going to do with my wife's sewing machine. Thanks. Okay, I got a little seam across there to prevent that from unraveling. I'm starting to put this trim edge on, and I'm using what's called basking tape. It's two-sided tape. I stick it on here where this piece is going to attach to. I've got it on both sides, and I'll peel it. It's a two-sided, so I'll peel that other piece of tape off and then stick this to it and then sew it down. That helps it hold in place while I sew it. Okay, I've got the trim pieces on. It's a bit of a ghetto job, but it's going to be used hard in the field, so not important as long as it holds together. And most of the support for the rifle is going to be further up in here. It's not like the barrel is going to be resting on this. But my next job here is to sew these together here, and I'm going to push that in like that and sew probably right up to it. I'll probably have to use a Speedy Stitcher on that. I'm hoping to use my sewing machine on this part. If not, I know it can go through some pretty thick sailcloth, but if I can't make it, I may have to use a Speedy Stitcher all the way across here. Something else I had considered was throwing in some grommets across here and then lacing this with like a leather tie or something. So I could leave this kind of open a little bit for drainage in case water gets in it. I know originally it had a little hole here for some vent or drainage or something. So I'm not too worried if I go ahead and sew this up. I figure if I get water in there, I'm in a pretty arid, dry area, so it's going to be rare that I get water, but if I do, it's going to probably seep through it anyway. So, okay, the next stage. Okay, I couldn't get the sewing machine to go, so I'm using the Speedy Stitcher to join these two seams here across the bottom of my scabbard. And I'll probably run all the way across there, push that down a little tight, maybe run another row all the way back across. I don't know. We'll see how much I have left, but it'll be plenty strong. It's a really stout waxed twine there I'm sewing with. So anyway, a bit of a kind of a contrasting color, but it's kind of similar to the way the contrasting of the stitching is here. Just problem is my stitching isn't as straight as neat, but it's going to get the job done, I do think. So next video I'll show you the scabbard with the rifle in it. Okay, here it is with my Kel-Tec SU16 inserted in my new shortened Eberlestock rifle scabbard. I can pull this out here. You can see it just fits in there. out like that. So that part is out where I can reach it across my back and pull the rifle out of the scabbard. I may look at perhaps if I can figure out a way to kind of loosen up this a little bit, open it up just a little bit more. It's a little bit of a tight fit in there. We'll see if it stretches out or something. I do have another Kel-Tec SU16 with a scope on it, so I'd like to have do the same kind of thing, but make it wider, or else I'll have to go with that other scabbard that they make that's bigger and shorten it a whole bunch. But all in all, it turned out pretty good. Shortened the length up quite a bit, so that'll won't be hanging down past the bottom of my backpack very much. Should be in. The whole goal is to get it. This is a great backpack gun. Just needed a way to carry it instead of carrying it in your hand. And really shortened rifle scabbard. Looks to me like is the hot setup. That's it.